These memory changes are not just normal aging. If you've been forgetting names more often, walking into a room and suddenly forgetting why you went there, losing your train of thought in the middle of a sentence, or feeling like your brain just isn't as sharp as it used to be, you may have been telling yourself something many people over 50 say every day. Well, I'm getting older. I guess this is normal. And sometimes that's true. Our brains naturally change with age. Processing speed slows down. It may take a little longer to remember certain words or recall where we placed our reading glasses. But here's what many people don't realize. Not every memory change should automatically be blamed on age. In fact, many causes of forgetfulness after 50 have nothing to do with getting older, and some of them are surprisingly treatable. So if you've been feeling worried, frustrated, or even scared about changes in your memory, this video may help you understand what's happening and why it deserves attention. Because sometimes what feels like normal aging is actually your brain asking for help. Normal aging does affect memory, but not in the way most people think. Let's start with some reassurance. Forgetting occasionally is normal. Almost everyone experiences moments like these. You forget why you entered a room. You struggle to remember someone's name, but it comes back later. You misplace your keys. You need a little more time to learn something new. These changes are common because the brain naturally processes information more slowly as we age. But healthy aging does not usually erase important memories. You shouldn't constantly forget conversations. You shouldn't repeatedly ask the same questions without realizing it. And you shouldn't feel like your thinking abilities are dramatically changing month after month. The biggest difference is this. Normal aging may slow retrieval, but abnormal changes can interfere with daily life. And understanding that difference matters. Because many people ignore warning signs simply because they assume getting older means losing their memory. But that isn't always true. Brain fog is often mistaken for aging. One of the most common complaints among adults over 50 is this: my brain feels foggy, not necessarily forgetful, just off. You may struggle to focus. Words don't come as quickly. Your thoughts feel slower. You lose your train of thought. Reading takes more effort. You feel mentally exhausted by afternoon, and many people immediately assume, my brain must be aging. But brain fog and aging are not the same thing. Brain fog can happen when the brain is under stress, poor sleep, chronic inflammation, high stress hormones, low physical activity, blood sugar fluctuation, vitamin deficiencies, even dehydration. These things can temporarily affect memory and concentration. The encouraging news? Brain fog is often reversible, and many people discover that improving sleep, nutrition, exercise, and stress management makes their minds feel clearer again. Poor sleep can make memory problems feel much worse. Sleep becomes lighter as we age. Many adults over 50 wake up more often during the night, and some develop sleep disorders without even realizing it. Here's why that matters. During sleep, your brain performs important maintenance. It organizes memories, processes information, and clears away waste products that build up during the day. Without enough quality sleep, memory suffers. You may notice difficulty concentrating, forgetting appointments, mental fatigue, trouble finding words, feeling confused during the day. Many people blame age when the real issue is poor sleep. And sometimes the problem is sleep apnea, a condition that causes breathing interruptions during sleep. Sleep apnea becomes more common with age and can silently affect the brain function. The scary part? Some people live with it for years without knowing. So, if memory problems are happening alongside loud snoring, daytime fatigue, headaches, or poor sleep, it's worth discussing with a healthcare professional, because better sleep can mean a better brain. Stress can quietly damage memory. Stress doesn't just affect emotions. It affects memory too. When stress hormones remain elevated for long periods, concentration becomes harder. The brain stays in survival mode, And survival mode is terrible for memory. Think about times when you were overwhelmed. You probably forgot things more easily. Lost focus. Couldn't think clearly. Now imagine experiencing that day after day. Financial worries, health concerns, caregiving responsibilities, retirement adjustments, loneliness, grief. These challenges are common after 50, and chronic stress can make perfectly healthy brains feel older than they really are. Sometimes the problem isn't memory loss, it's mental exhaustion, and exhausted brains don't perform at their best. Vitamin deficiencies can affect the brain. Many people are surprised to learn that low levels of certain nutrients can affect memory. Vitamin B12, vitamin D, iron, folate. These nutrients play important roles in brain function. As we age, absorbing certain vitamins becomes more difficult, and deficiencies can develop slowly. Symptoms may include forgetfulness, confusion, fatigue, low energy, mood changes, difficulty concentrating. Because these symptoms appear gradually, many people simply assume they're getting older, but blood tests sometimes reveal a different story. Addressing deficiencies won't cure every memory problem, but in some cases, correcting them can lead to significant improvements, which is why unusual changes should never be ignored. Medications can affect memory too. Adults over 50 often take several medications, and some medications may contribute to memory problems. Certain sleep aids, some allergy medications, pain medications, anti-anxiety medications, and others. Sometimes the issue isn't one medicine, it's the combination. These effects may be subtle. You might simply feel slower, foggy, less sharp, and again, it's easy to blame age. But medication-related memory changes are more common than many people realize. Never stop medications on your own. But if you notice new memory concerns after starting something new, discussing it with your healthcare provider can be very important. Depression doesn't always look like sadness. Depression after 50 often hides behind physical symptoms: low energy, poor concentration, lack of motivation, forgetfulness, difficulty making decisions. Many people don't feel sad. They simply feel numb, or tired, or mentally disconnected. And because depression affects attention, memory problems often follow. If your brain struggles to focus, it can't store information properly, which creates the impression that memories are disappearing. In reality, the brain may simply be overwhelmed. Treat emotional health often improves cognitive function more than people expect. And seeking help isn't weakness, it's brain care. When memory changes shouldn't be ignored. Certain signs deserve attention. For example, frequently repeating the same questions, getting lost in familiar places, forgetting important appointments repeatedly, difficulty managing finances, confusion with daily tasks, problems following conversations, changes that family members notice, difficulty finding common words regularly, personality changes, increasing confusion over time. These changes aren't something to panic about, but they are worth discussing with a doctor. Early evaluation matters because some causes are treatable, and when conditions are identified early, people often have more options and better outcomes. Ignoring symptoms doesn't protect the brain. Paying attention does. Healthy habits still matter more than most people realize. The brain loves routine. Simple habits can support memory better than expensive supplements. Regular walking, strength training, quality sleep, staying socially connected, learning new things, managing blood pressure, eating enough protein, controlling blood sugar, reducing loneliness, drinking enough water. These habits may sound ordinary, but together they create an environment where the brain functions better. Research consistently shows that physical activity supports blood flow to the brain. Social interaction stimulates mental activity. Sleep supports memory consolidation. and healthy blood vessels support healthy brain cells. There is no magic pill, but there are powerful daily habits, and it's never too late to start. Part 10. You are not powerless. Many people over 50 live with constant fear. Every forgotten word feels frightening. Every misplaced item feels like proof that something terrible is happening. But fear itself can make memory worse, because anxiety steals attention, and attention is necessary for memory. Remember this: forgetting occasionally does not mean you're losing yourself. Needing extra time to remember something doesn't automatically mean dementia, and growing older does not guarantee severe memory decline. Many people remain mentally sharp well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. The brain is more resilient than most people think, and many causes of memory changes are manageable. The key is not ignoring them, not dismissing them, not simply saying, "I'm old, that's just life," because sometimes it isn't. Sometimes your body is telling you something, and listening early may make all the difference. If you've been feeling more forgetful lately, please don't assume it's just aging. Some changes are normal, but some deserve attention. And many factors that affect memory, from poor sleep to stress, vitamin deficiencies, medications, and emotional health, can often be addressed. Your brain may be changing, but that doesn't mean hope is gone. It doesn't mean decline is inevitable. And it certainly doesn't mean you should stop paying attention, because these memory changes are not always just normal aging. And understanding that truth could be one of the most important things you do for your brain after 50. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to Vitality Path 50 Plus for more practical, reassuring information about memory, brain fog, and healthy aging. Because getting older is normal, but losing hope never has to be.
Before we conclude, a quick reminder. The information shared in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this channel. Your health is your most valuable asset. Treat it with the professional care it deserves.